COD Next has come and gone, and we now have received an overwhelming amount of information regarding Black Ops 6 and the changes to expect. Per usual, we got an exclusive Warzone segment to cap things off, and we have a lot of questions answered, rumors confirmed, and even some curveball changes as well. I'm Ornery, and this is the 10 biggest changes in Warzone with Black Ops 6. Let me know what you're looking forward to with Black Ops 6 Warzone as we get started. The first and biggest change coming to Warzone with Black Ops 6 is the brand new engine. Now, I want to start off by saying that this is the first time ever that we've seen a Treyarch Games engine be the engine for Warzone. For the entirety of Warzone 1, which covered Modern Warfare 19, Cold War, and Vanguard, we stayed on the Modern Warfare 19 engine. Then for Warzone 2, we had the MW22 engine, and for Warzone 3, or whatever you want to call the current state of Warzone, we have Modern Warfare 23's engine. All of these engines are Infinity Ward, so with Black Ops 6 Warzone, we're getting a complete makeover that we've never seen before. Enough of the history lesson, let's get into what to expect with this brand new engine. Most notably, the Omni movement system. Now, if you're playing the beta this weekend or watching this at a later date, you would know the Omni movement is now open the player up to be able to do things that you never used to be able to do. Shoot while diving, dive in any direction, sprint in any direction without having to be looking that way, amongst many other things. With Warzone being heavy on movement, this will for sure make massive changes to the skill gap. For better or for worse is definitely up for debate, and I think only time will tell. But I know I, for one, have been having a lot of fun with the movement in the beta. But pretty much everyone who's gotten their hands on it has enjoyed it. Anyways, aside from Omni movement, with a new engine brings a lot of other changes that could probably be its own video, but things like a new announcer, a new HUD, which is also fully customizable, different noises for pings, hit markers, and armor breaks, and an overall fresh coat of paint for the entire game. Basically, we're going to be playing Warzone on a Cold War engine that has gotten a ton of TLC and quality of life improvements. I, for one, was questioning if the engine was going to make it into Warzone. I thought there was a chance that we were still going to be on the MW23 engine, but I think a new engine will do Warzone very well. The looting and backpack system has been a point of controversy over the years. With Black Ops 6, we officially have confirmation that the old looting system of Warzone 1 is returning. For those that didn't play Warzone 1, this means no stowing extra of any item. 1 kill streak, 1 field upgrade, 1 gas mask, 2 lethal, 2 tactical, a dedicated expandable armor slot, and a dedicated ammo reserves for each ammo type, which is also now expandable with a new item in the munitions vest. Now, I think this will shake up the meta dramatically. Before, in just about every game, I would always have at least 4 smokes in the final circle, which was responsible for me getting out of a lot of bad situations. Now, only having just 2 will change how you play the game big time. On the other hand, this will get rid of things like kill streak spamming, which has been very annoying the last 2 years of Warzone. Getting hit with the precision and a mortar at the exact same time by the same player just shouldn't be a thing. Anyways, overall, this is probably for the better, but I will miss the whole backpack system just a little bit. The Warzone 1 looting system really made you think about what you wanted to sacrifice when it came to inventory management. Going from being able to hold an armor box, munitions box, and a reinforcement flare to now having to choose just one will add a little bit more depth in your playstyle. If you've been asleep the last few days or missed COD Next, you'll notice that we have a brand new map. More specifically, a brand new Resurgence map. Now, the last time we got a small map alongside a brand new Warzone integration, it was Rebirth Island. So if history repeats itself, we could have another great era of Warzone on our hands. Anyways, as far as how this new map, Area 99, will fare, I think it looks great in the new engine. Once again, I haven't played it, so I don't have much to say as far as if it's good or bad, but it's roughly the same size as Rebirth, maybe even a little bit smaller, and also has that 40 player count. My only concern, or I guess question I have, is that the map doesn't look like it has that much verticality whatsoever. Again, this is just at a glance, so that doesn't really hold much value, but I'm curious as to how the gunplay will play out. Regardless, I am stoked to have a new Resurgence map to play. On top of this, the ongoing rumor on the return of Verdansk has officially been confirmed, and we are expected to see it at the beginning of 2025, which is some thrilling news. Which leads us to another question, which is what big map do we have to play when Black Ops 6 integration happens? And that is still Urzikstan. I'm honestly not super excited about this. I would have rather liked to see like Al Mazrah make a return, but it's looking like Urzikstan is the big map until Verdansk. However, there is a redeeming element to this, and that is the return of BR Ranked, which will be played on Urzikstan. I probably won't dive too much into this, but seeing it make a return after over a year is a good sign and makes a lot of sense when you consider that the World Series of Warzone is played on this playlist style. Also, it's going to be available like right at season 1, if not like mid-season, so pretty cool. The perk system has had some minor changes over the years of Warzone, and we have yet another one now. Instead of the tier system which we had in the last 2 years where you had your 1 and 2 perks which weren't as powerful as your 3 and 4, we now have a simple pick 3 with Black Ops 6. No restrictions as to which ones you can choose, but to make things simpler, they've made the perks a little bit more broad, and that perks do way more than what they used to. On top of this, you can also find lootable perks, not perk packages, but singular perks that, as far as I understand, can stack on top of your loadout perk package. That means if you have quick fix, cold-blooded, and sleight of hand, if you find a tempered perk on the ground, you will also have tempered. And these stack. As far as how many you can stack, I don't think that's quite clear yet. Since specialists exist in the game, maybe there's a chance that you can stack as many as you want, which could result in a poor man specialist, which is pretty cool. And as far as the lootable perks, I believe it'll be the same 6 until the ground loot changes, but that's like subject to change, just like ground loot. On top of perks, we also have the return of wild cards. For those that don't know, the wild cards have been in previous CODs and basically let you break the rules when it comes to create a class. Now, we only have 2 as of right now for Black Ops 6 Zone, but I'm sure there'll be more to come. The first is Overkill, which we all know simply allows you to carry a second gun, and the other is Gunfighter, which allows you to equip a whopping 8 attachments to your primary. When I heard Overkill was being brought back, I was kind of bummed since Warzone 3 removed it to like make it not a crutch perk, but making it a wild card is the perfect balance. Now, being able to have an 8 attachment gun that player can create instead of finding a pre-kitted out redacted gun will definitely change how the game is played big time. That being said, I also can't wait to see what other wild cards they create in the future. The next one isn't much of a change, but more so an addition, and that's the care package. Not to be confused with the loadout drop, the care package is simply a care package that has a ton of random loot inside. As far as what can spawn in, it looks like it's pretty random. I saw a decent amount of specialists, nice kill streaks, field upgrades, and even gold guns. And I've stated before that Warzone kind of lacks on the RNG when compared to other games, but this is the perfect item that can shake that up just a little bit. Costing $7,500, it's essentially like buying a scratch off that can potentially completely turn your game around or ruin it. Maybe you don't have enough for a loadout, so you just buy one of these and have your fingers crossed. On top of being able to buy them, I'm pretty sure you can also find them in ground loot. Obviously, with a new game comes a plethora of brand new guns. However, the big question is, what about all the old ones? Well, with this integration, both Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2 guns will be available in your loadouts. Now, all I have to say is I hope this isn't anything like the Vanguard state of Warzone, where sure, there's a millions of guns to choose from, but only the ones from Black Ops 6 are worth using. I will say the Gunfighter wildcard can make for some crazy builds with the MW2 and MW3 guns, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. As far as gunplay goes, it looks like a lot of clutter and visual noise has been removed from your screen when firing, which is a massive win, especially for you mouse and keyboard players. Definitely a quality of life change that will make gunplay feel much smoother. One of the biggest surprise announcements at this COD Next was that Warzone was going to also get a camo grind alongside multiplayer and zombies. This is something I didn't even realize I needed until it was announced. Especially for those players who love that camo grind, I don't think anyone is ever going to complain about more ways to do it. Gold Tiger, King's Ransom, Cataclysm, and Abyss will be your mastery camos. But this means that in theory, each gun should have 4 new camos on top of the 8 we have between zombies and multiplayer. So to me, it sounds like this will be the most camos that we've ever seen in a Call of Duty, which will be awesome. Probably one of the most random and funny additions to Black Ops 6 is the meat shield mechanic. Once you down someone, you have the option to use them as a meat shield. This immediately activates proximity chat between you and the player, which I'm pretty sure will create unlimited content and funny moments. But on top of that, you are now fully shielded to any shots that hit them. I'm not sure if it's impenetrable, but regardless, it definitely looks like that if it isn't, the bullets deal way less damage. This does come at the caveat of not only moving much slower, but also being restricted to slightly better hip fire, but no ADS whatsoever. This could actually be a viable strategy, especially when playing with friends, but also a very super troll and funny mechanic. Basically, just an interrogation on steroids. It always sucks that when an old feature is brought back, it's almost considered like something brand new. We are now getting custom reticles back in Warzone. They've been in every Treyarch game since Black Ops 1, and were even in Warzone for Warzone 1 and its entire duration. Taking this out in the first place was one of the dumbest decisions in Warzone history, but also there was just no good reason for it. Bringing this back will give the player even more customization to the already overwhelming gunsmith, and I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time before players find the meta reticle that they swear is the truth. On top of custom reticles, we now have emotes and sprays back. This was yet another thing that was removed, and I think maybe they could get out of hand because it's like a microtransaction circle jerk. But regardless, I'm super stoked about this, especially with proximity chat. I mean, there is just going to be a lot of stuff going on with that. And it's even confirmed that you can spray paint enemies in the gulag just like old times. Lastly, we have another big change to how you will start each game, and that's that you will now spawn in with the knife on top of your pistol. So immediately this will give you a 2-tap melee, which in a lot of cases can be way more viable than relying on your weak pistol. And if you didn't know in Black Ops 6, when you have any melee weapon equipped, you have unlimited tac sprint. So the melee abusing players are just going to have a lot of fun with this one, and they don't even have to get their loadout. This reminds me of how in Warzone 3, they gave every player a pistol and water just as a quality of life change to make it a little bit more level. And also this dedicated melee is now its own spot in your created class, meaning you can customize it as well, which is something we have never had in Warzone or Call of Duty in a very long time. But what are your all's thoughts? Are you excited for Black Ops 6 Warzone? Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to hear me talk about the entire history of snipers, pay to win, pay to lose, or broken guns, go ahead and click on screen now. Join my Discord if you're feeling crazy. Help change this statistic, and if you liked, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, and thank you so much for watching.